Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Becoming Mighty and Morphin, a Power Rangers tabletop gaming experience. I am here faithfully with the Rangers. I am John McDonald. I play Panabon on Sunday nights, and when we record this, I play Zordon, the giant floating alien head in the quote-unquote fish tank, even though it is not a fish tank, but that's okay. I'm very excited for this week's episode. So we're going to get going. I'm going to go around and have the cast introduce themselves. And then if they are trying to upgrade anything, we're going to roll that for you live. And we're going to start to my left as I see it. Jane Russell, welcome to the show, Jane.
Hello. I don't know why I'm waving. Nobody can see this. I am Elizabeth. I played Red Ranger Jane Russell. You can also find me on Sundays on Like Clockwork playing Drusilla, the human bard. I am not upgrading anything today. I can't upgrade anything.
Yes, because your armor is in process and Alpha's good, but he can only do one thing at one time per Ranger. But we're very excited about your armor that is coming in a future episode, just as we're also excited about your work in the Rem Alternus family, doing all of our editing for our YouTube. So if you've seen one of our YouTube videos, it's because Isabitz has rocked it out, including all the ones from the Streamathon, which were all you're doing, which was a lot. Shout out for Streamathon.
Thank you. Andrew is actually going to be helping me with that.
Oh, yes. Cool.
When I can get access.
Well,
but yeah.
Speaking of Andrew, aka Quentin Turner, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yes, I'm Andrew. I'm also known as Roadkill among various gaming and nerd circles, I guess you could say. I will be playing the Yellow Ranger, Quentin Turner, as always.
Yes, you are. That you know of.
Yeah. Right.
That you're aware of at the beginning of the episode.
I guess we could do a Freaky Friday thing. That'd be weird.
We could. You never know what's going to happen with one of my episodes.
That is fair.
Because this is season 1, and everything is in chaos, and the points don't matter, much like Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Fabulous show.
Yes. Are you upgrading anything today while I pull out scenes from a hat?
I believe I am going to attempt to get my armor upgraded because it is still the beginning kind of just bodysuit basic armor. So.
It is still light armor. If you would like a medium armor with a +2 to toughness instead of +1, roll me that skill, and you need to get a 15 or a higher.
All right, here we go. Negative. I got a 5.
That is a 5. And this is not something you can use a story point for. Reminder, everyone give yourself a story point for the beginning of the session. Sadly, you cannot use a story point for this.
Yes.
So,
but since I can't
roll next
time.
Can
I give it to him?
No, that is not how it works, sadly.
Okay.
Right.
I tried.
That's very sweet of you.
I can't remember how many games I've tried to give my own hero points to the other players because it inevitably comes up. So that's understandable.
In pretty much every other scenario, I would allow it, but sadly, this is just it's not the evening for that, but that's okay. All right, so we'll move next door. Cecily Adwell is here. Hello, Cecily.
Hello. It's me, Cecily Adwell, the Blue Ranger, a.k.a. Lottie LOS. And I am going to try to upgrade my armor, and let's give it a shot, shall we?
Yes, if you're doing medium armor, correct.
I want to go for it, because I do have a poison-tip sword that is ready to rumble.
Ready to rumble. Then give me that roll.
I feel like we're each capturing different elements so far.
There are 5 of them, so...
Oh, and that is a fail. I got a 4.
That is a 4, so that means you'll just have to wait until next episode to attempt it again. But that's okay, because
I went in with confidence, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Little did we know Alpha is apparently on holiday.
Well, I mean, he did get really inspired from last episode and has decided to take up painting, so he may have a fancy beret. It's really hard to tell.
Very calming voice.
He's very busy.
Very busy. He's very busy. He's the legs of the command center. So
Yeah, I'm
he gets very busy.
Zordon can't grab anything, so there's a lot of things that need to be done.
It's true. Yeah. All right, let's go down to Brick Kerrigan. Hello, Brick.
Hello.
Welcome.
How are you today?
I'm feeling good for this week. Feeling the spooky in the air. And feeling curious to see if you're going to try to upgrade your armor, Brick Kerrigan, or upgrade your weapon. I can't remember.
I'm going to attempt to upgrade my weapon. I did upgrade my armor. I think last episode my armor was ready to be upgraded, but I couldn't use it until now. But
yeah. So you get that now. So if you'd like to upgrade your power weapon, and I believe you said
like to do that.
You want to add the cold element to it.
Yes.
If you will give me a roll from your targeting to see if you get cold. And this is the first upgrade, so it's a little easier, 10 or higher.
Sure.
Get that.
Give me half a second. Excuse me for my
Cold difficulties?
Yeah, we were just talking about how Roll20 is not the nicest to me.
Anything
I
can help you with?
It's not very good with Macs and on Google Chrome, I've heard.
Well,
Don't forget to go to the lobby and get yourself a snack, everyone. We have Raisinets, Goobers, Whoppers, frozen tuna mints.
If you could see anything, we have a shake and a thing of popcorn dancing for you.
I have my lip costume from Rocky Horror out. If you need to, you can always use the advanced dice roller on the side. If you know kind of what your skill is in that, you can always.
I was
there we go.
23.
Oh my god.
That works. Yay.
What
okay.
Whoa.
Somebody
Now you
had
have
their
to-
breakfast.
Yeah.
You have
did
to
have
roll
my
a
breakfast,
d20
yes.
to
That was
see
worth
how
the
many
wait.
days it's
A
going.
D20 to tell you how long it'll take me. No, 13.
So in 2 episodes' time, you will have cold.
Isn't that going to be like the finale?
No, we are on session 8, and we have 12 sessions in the season. So there's still time to use it,
Okay.
depending upon what happens. As I say mysteriously, then we're going to move on to Jester. Hello, Jester.
Hello, my name is Patrick Bryant. I go by Jester if you're nerdy. And I play Eddy Thatch, who is the Black Ranger for this group. Last time we left off, Alpha was having difficulty making out the crayon drawing on the back of a napkin about what I wanted to do with my weapon. And so this time I'm going to explain a little bit better, hopefully, with my role as to the upgrade I'm hoping for.
Yes, the upgrade that you want is you want to add one of the paths of sonic power. And we're going to be adding the rumbling to that. So if you can get a 10 or higher with whatever roll you use to try to hit things with your mighty power axe, 10 or higher will get you there.
May I do a persuasion as that's my best skill, or do I have to do something in the strength tree?
For your armor, it should be associated with how you use your armor.
So for the strength, so I'm going to do a might roll?
Yes. I meant words. I said weapon in my head, and then I used the word armor through my mouth.
We've all been.
I rolled a 14, which
14
I
is
think
a
this time
success.
around I
So
was going for a
Alpha-
10. Yeah.
Nice.
So Alpha understands that you want to add the sonic feature. Now you have to roll a d20 to see how long it will take for Alpha to accomplish this task.
Let's hope that maybe
Low
I could
roll.
give the dude like a energy drink or something, maybe get him come a little faster.
Energy motor oil.
I could always just give him a little shocker with claws there.
I don't know that you want to do.
I got a
Oh, you got a
4.
4. You got a 4.
That's not
okay,
bad.
so with a 4, I'm gonna say. So each, so the D20 represents 1 day. So in 4 days, you will have a rumbling axe. So by next episode, your axe will be a rumbling, and it will begin to cause damage you decided you wanted to do more damage to the terrain than to people, so you'll be able to aim it at the ground and make just the slightest little bit of canyon to begin with, or however you want to use it.
Nice.
Well-intended collateral damage.
Yes.
These are sonic pads he's adding to it, essentially?
So it doesn't qualify exactly, but the line that is going to be added to it eventually is called Quake Maker. And so eventually it'll be a lot of damage that will cause the enemies to trip, or will create something helping the Rangers to escape if the situation calls for it.
Nice. I like
And we're on that path starting next episode. And that's everyone. So welcome to the episode, everyone, Intrepid Rangers. Today we're going to start our episode doing a little bit of epilogue. So if you listened and watched in to the Stone Canyon saga from the Streamathon, you will remember that Eddy and Jane took a little trip to Stone Canyon, but alas, it was not a trip without weirdness and without needing to ranger. They met some other cool deputized rangers that, because they were close enough by, the other rangers had their own power coins. And so you had this page from a spellbook and this candle that turned into a candle monster but did not disappear after you defeated it. I believe Leia gave it a mighty solar plexus kick, a la Miss Congeniality, and it was amazing. But you do still have that candle and a spellbook page. And so because it befell to you two, I'm going to open up this episode and give you a chance to talk to Zordon or Alpha as you're kind of transferring in with this, because you were able to transport it in with you when you teleported in. And so you have this candle and the spellbook page. And do you have any questions for Alpha or Zordon, or what happened?
I want to pull out the spellbook page and show it to Alpha.
I'll have the Kindle in my hand as she's doing this.
Okay. And I'm going to say, I think this is one of the missing pages from one of the books.
Alpha can't really show expression because they are a robot, but their voice is always kind of tense and nervous anyways. And they go, "Aye, where did this come from? Stone Canyon? That's where you were?"
Yeah, we found it. There was a group of girls trying to do a spell, and this is the page that they were reading.
How did it get out there? Zordon, how did a page from one of the spell books get out there? And Zordon replies, it could be quite a mystery, Alpha. Thank you for bringing these Rangers. Part of the work that we do is in the keeping of the lore of the grid. And no matter where this page came from, it should be safe amongst the books. The handwriting looks like Rita's handwriting. It's slightly different. And Zordon looks like he's thinking of something, like there's like something the handwriting is conjuring, but he can't quite make a connection. He goes, there will have to be further study of this spell. What did you encounter with this spell? What did it do?
It was the candle thing here, right? It turned it into this candelabra, like sleeping beauty, Princess Bride, whatever. It was weird.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, that one too. You had the furry guy, and then the really pretty woman, right?
Yeah. Are you meaning it's Lumiere is what it is?
Yeah, it looked like it, but like
it's a French talking.
But think like more evil than your normal French person.
British. I mean, they're typically in movies tend to be the villain. I don't know why. Maybe it's the awesome accent, but
all that to be said, and Zordon not really getting the pop culture reference.
Not understanding anything.
Not understanding any of that. He thoughtfully kind of furrows his eyebrows together and go, "That's intriguing. Normally, Rita has to be close by with her wand in order to enact a spell to create one of these monsters. The reasons that putties don't spring from the earth is they have to be created with her wand close by. It craves the energy of the dark side of the Morphin grid. So to have a creature spring up to life and then to still have this candle be around, it is is different than what we're used to seeing with Rita.
But you did say that the writing was slightly different, right? Do you think like maybe she wrote it down with her non-dominant hand? I mean, if I'm trying to write something and do like artistic difference, sometimes I'll do that.
No, if you've noticed in the Gridload library, in the places where some of Rita's words have been captured, it does look like this writing mostly, but there's something much more elegant about this and much more thoughtful and less hasty. Her writing is usually much quicker and much more feverish. I am intrigued, and I apologize that I can't offer more information. I will have to think more and have Alpha look through the volumes of library to see where this page might be from, or if this is from a whole other book altogether.
So you're saying there's a dark side and a light side to the Morphin Grid?
Much like there is a dark and a light side, both to humanity and to all alien life, there is a light and a dark side to the Morphin Grid, Mr. Turner. We're just going to assume that you were there and we just didn't notice you as you were bringing stuff in. Perfectly fine.
Sorry.
And Zordon is thoughtful for a moment, and he looks at Jane and goes, "There's light and dark side to the Morphin Grid. I think that you were telling me about the day that you had in this field day, I think you called it, this test of athletics for winning this, what was the word, scholarship, I think was the word?
Yes.
Yes, and so the idea of a light and a dark side to thing is not new. And the Morphin Grid itself as an embodiment of emotion and power, there's a light and a dark side to the Morphin Grid. The reason there are monsters, the reasons there are putties, the reasons for Rita being the way she is, the things that attack the land and the people of Eltar, all comes from more of the dark side of the Morphin Grid, whether or not the people know that they're using that.
So, like, the Morphin Grid's, like, represented in these different, like, color spectrum things. So, with I'm, like, being the Black Ranger, what's, like, the dark side of a Black Ranger? I mean, it seems like it's already one... yeah.
Well, a Black Ranger is... All Black Rangers are a little different. The Black Ranger themselves tend to be known for this tenet of loyalty. And so the dark side of a Black Ranger could be the idea of selfishness and loyalty, the idea of not being able to grow, the idea of... Oh, what is the word? There's a word for it on your planet. I think it's called off-putting, where it's so much of that loyalty that you alienate others. And so there is the light side of loyalty where you bring people together with humor and with caring, with love, and the dark side of that where there is selfishness. And there is nothing wrong necessarily with learning about that and with having moments of selfishness, surely, but it's also the Black spectrum chooses people that have the ability to be loyal, to be light, to be winsome. I think winsome is the word. But it's just an awareness of that those shadow... You're not going to be turned into dark Power Rangers. That isn't a thing that exists that I've ever heard of. So that's not something to worry about. Just being aware that in all things you make, there are light choices and dark choices.
Okay. That was quite a bit to think about.
It's true. This is why we have books in a library, because if you have to have the discussion, it takes days on days. On Eltar, we used to have these 2-week symposiums where we would discuss these different spectrum colors and what they mean, what it means to have courage, what it means to have speed. It was quite a delightful thing to go to these seminars, but sadly, it takes a lot of stamina to get through them as well, because 2 weeks discussing one topic was a lot.
So can we leave this here with you and Alpha, and would you be able to find out what book it's from?
Very likely. It may require assistance, but Alpha will spend some time with it. It's also good to have it here because the Grid Lore Library Chamber is very locked from things, because if Rita knew that this library was here, she would most definitely try to force her way in to gather all the knowledge. But she cannot enter because she does not have a power coin. And that's how that is the mechanism that keeps her from being able to come.
Would I be able to maybe help Alpha try to like maybe find the book or something? Because it'd be the one that's missing a page, right?
There are several pages as they are aged, and a couple of pages have just turned to dust based on age. Sadly, even with morphing technology, not all things last forever.
Well, that complicates things.
Yes, but Alpha says, I definitely, the help is definitely always appreciated. Obviously, I wouldn't want to take away from your studies or your time doing other things, but you are more than welcome to assist whenever you have time. I think for now, I'm just going to spend some time studying this candle, and I'll let you know when I get further. And Alpha looks at the candle and starts turning it around and looking at it. It's like one of those things where it's like if you were at like a Bed Bath & Beyond, he'd be like smelling it or something, like he's looking for something, and he goes, Zordon, there's no marking on it. And Zordon says, well, Alpha, that's just another mystery to uncover. Yes. So does anyone have any further questions before we head into the log of today's episode? I don't know what it's called because a prologue is before and an epilogue is after. Is it just a log if it's the actual episode itself? I don't actually know what that is. Get in the comments, as Brendan Lee Mulligan would say, if you know what it's called when it's just the actual story itself and not the before or after. But we are going to start today's episode. Today, Angel Grove gets a little spooky. Happy Halloween. Samhain, Dia de los Muertos are All Saints Day Rangers. What's that? You say it's still summer and super hot out? Well, Angel Grove loves October holidays, and so there's always a like half Halloween celebration that a lot of people look forward to. In the past couple of years, as Rita has gotten more intense about things, the celebrations have gotten bigger because there's this constant threat of extinction and people love to put energy into it. It's also because Angel Grove doesn't have its own Comic-Con. So if people want to do Halloween, people put all that energy into like, they're calling it the half Halloween celebration, essentially. Angel Grove just does it well and does it better. And if you have a cultural celebration surrounding autumnal things, you have a space in Angel Grove. You have a space for if you want to be part of the Waking Blood Film Festival at the Resurrected Temporary Drive-In Movie Theater, sponsored by the Angel Grove Film Library and Art Institute. Jane may have gotten an invite to be part of the film festival because other Jane has her contact information from the Art Institute. Cecily,
Yes.
Some of the Ren Fair people actually do zombie makeup tutorial and thriller dance instruction at the Angel Grove Community College. So you have a chance to do some zombie makeup if you so want. But for everyone of a certain age, aka your age, Ernie's Juice Bar hosts a famous, now annual, and I'm going to have trouble saying this, Find a Friend Monster Match. It's like a take on those awkward junior high dances where you go with your friends and you just kind of stand around in a little huddle and don't talk to anyone, except that you actually have to talk to other people and try to make more friends. Whether or not you actually participate in finding a new friend, there's free candy, you get to get out of the house. A lot of people in Angel Grove, even adults, dress in costumes for half Halloween week. So it's not going to look weird if you're wearing a costume on like the bus. And Find a Friend Monster Match especially is great because Ernie brings in a whole bunch of the local indie Angel Grove bands to play. And I'm going to give you a chance to think about what kind of costume you want to have, either singular or group. But before you get a chance to talk costumes, Quentin, you had a flyer for a band called Dung Beetle that was being played with by the cat that lives on your fence and seems to be supernatural, or at least because it's a cat, pretends that it's supernatural. Did you decide that you wanted to audition with Dung Beetle, or did you find like a Flock of Seagulls cover band? What kind of band are you joining, and what are you playing?
The kind of band that I believe Quentin is looking to join is his kind of tastes kind of would go more with metal, like a Metallica kind of style band.
Okay. Dung Beetle is not set on Dung Beetle. So based upon how your audition goes,
I know their description of their music was kind of adjacent to that, from what I remember. So yeah, I'm gonna go audition for Dung Beetle and see if we can get a different name.
Yeah, you get to be a voting member of the band. Yeah,
Dung Beetle still sounds like a pretty good metal band name to me. But
all right.
I don't know if I want to have dung in the name though.
So basically, what's going to happen is that you're going to have a live audition. This isn't like a battle of the bands. This isn't like a Scott Pilgrim thing, but so Dung Beetle, as it currently stands, is like fourth in the lineup. So you have like time before the event and time after the event to just hang out, because they're only going to play like 2 or 3 songs, because they only know like 2 or 3 songs. And none of them are originals. They are definitely not paying royalties, as they probably should be. But they're trying, God bless them. And it's not Master Puppets phase, but they're definitely not playing Enter Sandman. Sorry, I got in my head about that. I was very excited about that. So we're going to see how you do a Dung Beetle tonight. So I'm going to let you go first. So you're going to be doing music stuff. Are you still going to dress up? Are you still showing up in a costume of some kind? Like,
he would
like
love
a hot dog or something like that?
He would love to do a costume. I'm trying to think of what he would essentially put together.
You can do a group costume with your fellow Rangers. You can do a solo costume. I'm not going to say that I can be impressed. So if you want to earn some story points, if anyone wants to jump in.
He would probably have reached out to Cecily, right? I said that right? Cecily, sorry. For a costume, knowing that she's got a little bit of a background with doing that kind of thing, in hopes that she might be able to kind of hook him up with a nice Halloween costume.
She's like, do you want to be King Henry VIII?
I mean, I'm going for something a little scary, I guess.
Like
movie monster, not necessarily completely scary, but like,
let me think. I think I have a Spring-Heeled Jack costume.
Spring-Heeled Jack?
He's like this old-timey English villain that murdered a bunch of people, but he was known for jumping away on what seemed to be spring heels. Heels and a tail? I don't know. Let me think. I've also got... I've got a classic Frankenstein costume that my dad wears.
I could do a Frankenstein thing. I'd be like a short Frankenstein, but I could do it.
Frankenstein's monster, of course.
Yeah.
My dad's short too.
Great.
So
I could totally do a Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, I can get that for you.
All right.
We definitely like the classics.
So the theme is classic movie monster.
By the way, Quentin, I just want you to mentally prepare yourself for this. No one else in the band is dressed up when you show up dressed up. So I'm just letting you know. But it's only that Dung Beetle's the only band that is not in costume. So you're actually they're going to stick out more than you, just so you're aware.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
You can prepare yourself for that. There is no theme to this, so you can decide to go out of the box. You do not have to be Universal Movie Monsters, but you can totally be Universal Movie Monsters. You could be the Sailor Scouts, because there's 5 of you. I'm not going to tell you how to live your lives.
Or they do like a monster mash kind of thing.
Which one is Sailor Moon then? Come on.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you how to live your life.
Rick is Sailor Moon.
Oh, you're right.
I could believe that.
Yeah, I'm totally fine coordinating and having a whole group one, so it doesn't have to be Universal Monsters.
Well,
either.
Cecily is going to say
I
was going to be zombie Anne Boleyn carrying my own head, but I'm up for options.
Nice, I like that. That sounds pretty cool.
Take a story point for zombie Anne Boleyn carrying her own head.
Yeah.
Please take a story point for zombie.
That's nice.
I feel like it's very classically Cecily.
So, dibs on if we're going to do anything along the line of like old school horror icons, dibs on kind of like the generic like Nosferatu style vampire.
Ooh.
Nice. All right.
No glitter or anything. I don't want that. No, like I want to look fugly.
Right. And Eddy's big, isn't he? He's a pretty big guy.
He's a really good example of one of those people who's very strong, but not more of a
because of an exercise kind of type.
Yeah, because of like nature and less of physical prowess from athleticism like Brooke.
Yeah, pretty much. If we did a Princess Bride cosplay, he would play as
Andre the Giant's character.
Yeah.
That would actually be a really fun.
Right.
That would actually be a very fun group cosplay.
Yeah.
But you know that would mean that I would have to be Inigo Montoya.
Yeah. If we ever go to a run fair, Cecily, we'll do that.
Okay.
As a group.
Only if you promise to introduce yourself to everyone you come across. I will wait.
So I'm only going to add one little kink into this work. Hey, Brick.
What?
The football team wants to go as zombie baseball players, so they're asking for like baseball uniforms. They want to borrow your guys' uniforms. Do you want football players in your baseball uniform? Like, or are you going to be like, I'm going to go as baseball zombie just to spite you? What are you up to for the holiday?
I was thinking about this, that like there will probably be some sort of like sports Halloween group costume or something. I don't know. They can have my uniform. I don't really care about that. I think Brick is a lazy Halloweener, I think. So I think he probably just shows up in like just a bunch of toilet paper wrapped around him and is just like, I'm a mummy.
When you get there, beautiful. By the way, Fenwick comes up to you, who is your friend from the baseball team, and they're like in a full-on dead football player from Beetlejuice outfit, and they just kind of give you a look as they're walking down the hallway, Brick, just so you know you're being judged.
Sorry, Jefferson didn't give me his uniform in time. I had to come up with something last minute.
Fenwick can't actually respawn because he make-upped his lips shut. Unfortunately.
So joke's on him.
Joke's on
Story
him.
point for Fenwick.
He got really into it, and then it wasn't until like he's going to be drinking things through straws that aren't smoothies this evening because it's
got a little too carried away with the liquid latex.
You got revenge without having to do anything, Brick. It's great.
I don't know, the whole zombie in the football themes really make me think of like Monster Football League.
Yeah.
So suffice it to say, Half Halloween is a big deal in Angel Grove, and nowhere is it a bigger deal than Ernie's Juice Bar. This place is decorated to the nines. Like, Ernie has spent half of his yearly gross budget on decorating for this thing, kind of. It's actually bigger than Halloween itself. The hallways and the first floor is done. The second, third, and fourth floors are all kind of blocked off, so you can only be on the first floor. The hallways, the juice bar, every inch has something to explore. There are games. There's a mad scientist laboratory in one of the rooms. Each room has a different theme. There are Scooby-Doo style hidden projectors that play spooky cartoons like on the wall without sound, so he doesn't have to pay royalties for using the spooky cartoons. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't get to Jane. I thought you were being part of the Team Universal monster costumes, and my brain did not recognize. I thought I said.
I'm totally fine with you skipping over me. I had no idea.
That's why she was being quiet. She's just like,
well, I will give the rest of the introduction to Ernie's Juice Bar Half Halloween edition, and then we can go to you, Jane, and you can either have a conversation with Cecily or with someone in your family and be like, what should I? You could also, I will offer you the scene from Casper where Christina Ricci ends up in a dead woman's wedding dress is always a possibility. It's very classic to do dead brides. So just a thought.
Or like do your hair up and
Cecily would like to say that the reason there's so many dead brides is because theoretically, if you died, you'd want to be buried in your best dress. And most women, that was their best dress, so that's why they get buried in their bride's dress. Yeah, it's a Cecily fact.
Never realized that.
Yeah, no,
it's cool.
Yeah. And a lot of times your wedding dress wouldn't be white; it would just be the best dress you owned.
Right.
So but that's why you see a lot of dead brides.
Something else that you see a lot of at Ernie's Juice Bar and Half Halloween are people dressed as temple guards from Legends of the Hidden Temple, and they are scattered about the bowls of candy because Bulk and Skull have a tendency to steal bowls of candy when left to their own devices. And
normally don't like Tilla's temple guards, but for that purpose, I think I'm letting them slide.
Yeah, and every candy has a different type of flavor profile. Every bowl is different flavor profile candy. So there's like an Airheads bowl that is specifically different flavors of Airheads. There's an old-timey bowl with lemon balls, sour balls, and root beer barrels. There's a bowl of nothing but Three Musketeers. There's a bowl of... there's even a retro 1950s candy bowl with wax lips and wax cola. That bowl stays pretty full throughout the night just because it's not really people's favorite thing.
You know whose favorite it is.
But if people like it, it's there for them.
It's Cecily's favorite.
Yeah, so you can visit that as much as you want.
Cecily just hangs out there the whole time. I was like, man, this is great. Nobody else is taking this.
Nobody else wants this.
I will say Ernie does go a little bit overboard on like fake cobwebs. So you do kind of feel like you have to like stoop a little bit to get through certain areas of the building because there's just so many cobwebs. But that's like a little, that's Ernie. Ernie enjoys it. There's a great sense of energy when you get there. You can't really tell when the party starts. There was an official start time, but there's already people getting there when you arrive. And as we go through, at the end of this, I'll give you some idea of what some of the party games are and things like that. But before we do that, there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of candy. It's very well decorated. Quentin, you have to warm up with your band. That's the first thing. So I want you to give me a performance check to see how warm up goes and how well you gel with the band.
All right. A performance check. Here we go.
Got a quick question about Ernie for the party here. Would he possibly be like dressed up in such an elaborate costume that you might not even be able to recognize who he is?
Ernie is omnipresent, and you will recognize Ernie from their costume. They've been practicing the voice, actually, and we will get there. Worry not.
To use a specialty properly with the dice rolling system, do I do a skill shift thing with it as well? Or is that a completely different thing?
That is a completely different thing. Like
Awesome.
A skill shift is if I tell you to take an edge or a snap. So.
Gotcha.
Also, for example,
All right.
I have an ability that lets me improve some stuff. That would be another example of a skill shift.
Gotcha. I got an 18.
Yes, that 18 on your performance. The lead singer looks uncannily like Matthew Lillard. But like if Matthew Lillard was going through puberty, so like somebody had stretched him out a little too much. But definitely like if you were doing a Scooby-Doo group costume.
Yeah.
It still sounds like Matthew Lillard to me.
It's a Matthew Lillard type. That's also
I'll have to remember that later on for the band.
It's also like a lead singer thing, as he just kind of has the vocal range to do it.
Right.
You warm up with Knights of Sidonia from Muse because they actually really want to see what you can do, and you impress them quite a bit.
Nice.
What is your instrument that you are impressing them with?
Keyboard/piano. So
keyboard/piano. It would be a keyboard.
Yes.
It's a cute little Casio number because that's what the band or you can afford.
Yeah. Or what I kind of borrowed from the band room.
Borrowed from the band room. It does happen. They do have a check-in, check-out system at Angel Grove. You are on the hook if you spill soda on it, so just be careful about that this evening. But you got an 18, and an 18 is really, really good. And I'm also going to give some breathing room. So I'm just going to have everybody kind of come in. You can come together, but I want to go around and kind of take in the scenery. You can ask me questions about kind of what's in the thing before I introduce Ernie. We'll start with Jane because now you can talk about whatever costume you ended up with or took advice from Cecily on, or your parents found something in the house, or if they wrapped you in tinfoil and called you leftovers, that kind of thing.
So everybody else was going as like movie monsters. Is that correct?
That was a very half-baked idea of it, and so far it seems to kind of be going that way.
I don't know. Yeah.
Because we got
Did
a
you-
zombie.
So did you all have a
vampire,
group chat, or did you all just have this idea independently? Was there a group chat, or was this like an independent thing, and you all just came to Cecily?
I imagine there's a group
Yeah.
chat with
Like
Cecily.
if
I
anything,
was
I
like, I
feel
have
like
so many costumes.
we mentioned the idea, and then some of the people might have come up with it independently of what they were specifically doing.
No, Eddie would have definitely reached out and collaborated.
Okay. Yeah.
Cecily loves Halloween. I'd say it's her favorite holiday. So,
What
good
about
holiday.
Bloody Mary?
Yeah.
oh my gosh, you know that would
That'd be great.
you'd be like my stepdaughter.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll be Bloody Mary.
Historically, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
She's like Cecily has a plethora of Elizabethan court gowns. So
Nice.
Jane, there is one guy that's going to show up tonight at some point during the party. That is the mirror from Sleeping from Sleeping Beauty, and they are going to just be staring at you the whole night because they think that you're amazing in your costume, but they're too shy to talk to you. So just know if you feel eyes upon you in the course of the evening, that's a person that wants to be your friend /
take you on a date.
Awesome.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
It's true. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Jane, what do you think of the space? Do you like how spooky it is? Are you a little overwhelmed?
No, Jane loves Halloween and loves spooky stuff, horror movies, all of it. So she is really digging the whole vibe in here. Except for there's this guy that's dressed as a mirror, and I think he's staring at me the whole time, and it's a little unnerving. But other than that, everything's cool.
Cecily's like, would you like me to stop him? I can go talk to him.
Don't hurt him. Don't hurt
It's
him.
not
But,
guaranteed.
okay. But yeah.
I mean, he
Okay.
might just like you.
Oh.
I don't think
Although
that's right.
I might be on stage now that I think about it, actually. I might be busy. I can't recall exactly where I am at this point.
You could be anywhere you want to be because you
Okay.
did get your.
Then, yeah, I would.
It's a very informal.
meet up with everybody.
No one's trying to win a Battle of Bands competition here.
Awesome.
Your 18 was great, so they were very impressed by you. You can hang out with them, or you can hang out.
I'll probably float back and forth, because I want to get to know the band as well as stay with my normal group.
Because you have that kind of the groupie ability. I'm gonna call you group. I don't know what else to call it. I can't remember what it's actually officially called because
I think it's Garage Band.
Yeah. So for your Garage Band ability, I will say at the end of tonight, you have 2 groupies that you can rely on to use that.
Right.
And the more that you play with this group and the more you practice with them, the more roadies, groupies, and otheries you will acquire to do your
right.
bidding as the rock god of Angel Grove.
Ooh, nice.
Brick, do you feel a little underdressed in your toilet paper mummy costume? Are you like going to like back to Halloween childhood in Ernie's juice bar now?
I don't know. Brick, he likes Halloween, but he doesn't like all the pressure that comes with like having to like dress up and impress people. So he's there. He likes the decor. He hates that he has to pick plastic spiders out of his drinks.
Yeah. So that's also because they're in the ice. Some of them have spider ice cube things that Ernie got really into it. They're not edible, but he kind of forgot which ice cubes he put those in. So some of that is intentional, and some of that is just too many spiders.
So yeah, Brick's just kind of like going through the motions, I suppose.
So Brick, a couple of things you might enjoy. There is a pit of lava, quote unquote, / hot coals. It is a river of red Legos that you can walk across to get like an extra piece of candy.
Oh yeah.
It's worse than hot coals.
There is also, I call it tic-tac-toe, where you can win candy by like, it's a little thing that's kind of on the ground and you have to get like a tic-tac-toe thing in it. And it's Halloween themed. I don't know how else to describe it to listeners at home, but you get little bean bags and you toss them across the room and they go into the thing and they make the tic-tac-toe. So you've got a couple of things that are kind of sporty and fun. There is a giant disco ball, which is really cool. Ernie just has a giant disco ball in storage that he brings out on occasions. such as these. For anyone interested, Eddy, if you're interested, there is a photo wall that is ready for all picture taking that anyone would like to do.
That definitely sounds interesting.
I will say Brick probably saw like the bowl of candy across from the floor of lava, and he just saw that some of his favorite candies were in there. He really likes Babe Ruth's.
Yes.
Because, baseball. And so he doesn't even notice the hot coals. He just kind of like, oh wait, no, because then they'd probably make you take your shoes off and do it.
You don't. You should be in your socks. They're not going to make you like take your socks off because it's not that kind of party. But you do have to take your shoes off. You do have to take your shoes off to do the River of Fire is what they're calling it.
Yeah. So I think he probably takes. If there's one thing about Brick is that he likes challenges.
And by the way, because this is like a little game special event thing, these are king size Baby Ruth. So they are not mini. Like they are substantial Baby Ruth bars. Yeah.
All right, big boys.
I'm gonna have you for fun and frivolity. Give me an acrobatics roll to see how well you do on the river of quote unquote lava / hot coals.
River of Death.
River of Death. We're going to see if you're Michael Scott on The Office or if you're one of those Nat Geo specials that is uncomfortably exoticizing the thing.
You said acrobatics.
Acrobatics, please. That's a 10. Fenwick kind of nudges you a little bit and you stumble down kind of chin first, but you tuck and roll a little bit. So it looks like you were trying to be impressive. Unfortunately, you are on Legos. So you do kind of splay out. But you get your big Baby Ruth.
Yay.
So the 10 wasn't graceful, and you may need to have a word with Fenwick after this evening is over. But, it's pretty good, though. And you have a giant Baby Ruth, which is great.
The king of the world.
Are the king.
Where is Brick in relation to everybody else right now? Would I be able to be there to interact with them?
You can totally be there to interact. Please do.
I think I'm going to try to help him to his feet after that, especially.
Give me an acrobatics roll. Give me an acrobatics roll, because now you have to step on red Legos.
Oh, no. Okay.
Should have made it a ball pit.
Whoa. Totally.
Oh, you got a 20. Hey, so...
Just jump over it.
Right.
Like, it must be the Yellow Ranger deep inside of you.
I'm a little nimble guy. It's all good.
Yeah. I don't know how you feel about Baby Ruth, but they offer you a Baby Ruth bar. There is no shortage of candy. This is just,
I'll
like,
take
extra fun.
And I'll probably break mine in half, eat the half, and give the other half to Brick.
Yeah, I was thinking I probably have one hand is the giant Baby Ruth and the other hand is one of those giant Toblerones.
Oh, Toblerones. Nice. Yeah, you actually had to go into a room that had a De los Muertos pinata theme, and you actually had to this is what you trained your whole life for, didn't know, but there were Toblerones in one of the pinatas, and in half an hour there's going to be a new pinata up in that room, just to let you know. It will not have Toblerones in it, but I don't know what kind of candy it will have yet. But yes, Toblerones for everybody. Cecily, you're kind of a Halloween costuming, not an expert, but you know quite a bit. All the rooms are decorated. Which room is your favorite thus far that you've gotten to see?
Is there anything that's more haunted mansion-y classic, spooky house?
Did you ever read The Mask of Red Death by Edgar Allan Poe?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a room divided into 7 smaller rooms, like a mini maze.
Ooh, I love that. That's totally my thing. And Cecily is just eating those candy buttons that you mostly eat paper off of.
That's great.
Good way to get fiber.
The end of the maze, this particular room, the end of the maze is Twizzler themed. So if you like Twizzlers, that's a good room too.
Ooh, yeah.
People are having trouble getting through the maze, bless them. You're doing better than most. I will say Anne Boleyn's, I don't know if she had a bustle, but it's not the biggest room in the place. So maybe next year I'm planning, if they want to do a maze, different room. But you're still having a good time.
Yeah. Well, luckily my my hoop is pretty flexible. I'm used to it because I wear hoops pretty regularly. But I'm having a good time, and I'm eating my old people candy, like those little what are they? The little wafer UFO dishes.
Oh yeah, they're actually called UFOs where I'm at. You buy them, they're called UFOs.
Yeah, I have those, all just like this old people candy that nobody else really wants. And I just keep offering it to people. I'm like, do you want one? And they're like, no.
Eddy, Cecily comes up and offers you some old-timey candy. I can't think of it.
Old-timey sugar wafers?
Old-timey sugar wafers.
Oh yeah, we got Necco wafers. We got...
All right.
So, Eddy would have... preparing for all of this and everything, he would have busted out an old, like, little prop box that he got from after his father passed away, because his father used to do theater and whatnot, but Eddy never really got involved in that too much. Cecily, he would have gone to you for the, like, clothing bits of it and everything. It's like, I got things for, like, the face and the hands, but, like, what kind of outfit would kind of fit a like hunched over kind of dingy Nosferatu kind of thing that you have?
Well, I'd say I have some kind of cape with like a really like high collar that would help like hide the hump. The hump would actually be just fashioned out of in like Renaissance clothing. Higher class people would wear these things called bum rolls, the women would, and it's basically just like fabric packed inside of each other that you tie around your waist. However, she would like be like, we can tie it around your back and it'll totally look like a hump. So like it's her
perfect.
Yeah. That's, and then something with like a cravat, like a button down shirt with like a black cravat, maybe. With those like high neck.
A cravat, is that like those rolled flaky bread things?
No, a cravat is like a fancy word for a tie. Like Cecily's never used to like people not knowing things, even though people never know what she's saying. It's like a tie. Like she's like, do you know like Pride and Prejudice?
No.
I'm trying to think.
Well, you could just show it to me.
Sure. Yeah. It's like this.
A Billy Butcherson cosplayer walks by, someone who pitch perfect looks like Doug Jones from Hocus Pocus, and that character does have a cravat. If you'd like to point that out.
Yeah, nice little ruffle thingy.
I was thinking this would be like for the event, like getting the costume ready, kind of thing.
People are really into it. Someone goes by in a Billy Butcherson costume, like by the place that you're together at. So.
Nice.
So. So she comes up to me offering the Necco wafers, but I have the finished outfit on and everything. So we have the high collar and the hump going on. I have these like my fingers are longer than they should be, because you can tell they're obviously kind of like plastic extensions, and I have a set of dentures that were repurposed from an old Ferengi costume. So they're just jagged teeth in all sorts of directions. And apparently never got the memo that you need to be careful when you're eating things, because I have like gummy candy as well as cobwebs, and I have finger extensions, and I'm kind of a bit of a hot mess.
Yeah, you're going to want to pop those teeth out when you actually have some candy.
Yeah, she's going to say, the secret to keeping them in when you do want to eat with them in, though, is denture glue.
Right now I'm just dealing with kind of like trying to get these cobweb decorations out from in between my jagged teeth. With finger extension hands.
That Willem Dafoe realness is everything that I want as well. I want everyone, now the party is getting into full swing. You all need to sign the guest book, so I want you to roll me a d6 and tell me what you're writing in the Half Halloween Find a Friend Monster Match guest book. D6 and what you're saying in the guest, and tell me what roll you get.
Cecily got a 6.
So did Jane.
I think Cecily is going to write most joyous Summerween tidings. like trying to lean into the old English kind of vibe of her costume.
All right. Jane, what are you writing in the book with your 6 as well?
And this is for the guest book, is that correct?
It is a guest book, yes.
Okay. Jane is probably just gonna be like super awkward about it and be like, right in there, hi, I'm Jane. Hope you're having fun. She's just like super awkward about the whole thing.
Jane, I want you to re-roll your 6, by the way.
Reroll my D6, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, now I copied Quentin. I gotta. Do you just want me to keep rolling?
Then I'm gonna have Cecily re-roll her 6.
Okay. I got another 6.
Okay. So Jane, I'm gonna have you re-roll one more time, and we're gonna see what happens.
I got a 5 this time.
You got a 5. That's perfect. Thank you. Thank you for being so lovely. Quentin, with your 4, what are you writing down in the guest book as it's walking around?
I'm going to write down, my name is Adam. Frankenstein was the doctor. That's what I'm writing in there.
Please take a story point for my name is Adam. So humanizing Frankenstein's monster. Brick, with your 3, what are you writing in the guest book?
I'm going to try and get back at Fenwick for number 1, having a weird name. And for number 2, pushing me onto the Legos. So I'm going to write something like Fenwick blows or something.
Super creative.
I'm not going to sign it. It's going to be anonymous.
Yeah, no one's saying you have to sign your name to it. They're just passing around the guest book. You could also tell them no. It is a free contest.
What is our principal's name?
Principal Kaplan. They are not there. This is not a school-sanctioned activity, and they don't like hanging out with students outside of school hours. They find it weird. They're not trying to be your friend. They are your principal.
Okay, instead I'm going to draw a picture.
Sign Principal Kaplan. Is that what you're doing?
No, I was thinking instead of Fenwick blows, I might draw 2 little stick figures. One of them is Fenwick, and the other one is Principal Kaplan, and there's a little heart around them. And
that's a mixed message if I've ever heard one.
Right. And the rumors have begun.
The rumors have begun. Eddy, as you are trying to fish a Sour Patch Kid out of your jaws, as it were, you do as well need to sign the guest book with your 2.
I'm just gonna put down Fishing Bro versus Sky Lady. Who will win?
Fabulous. That's being the sentiment. You all kind of just end up in the room in a clump together because you are friends. And it just happens to be that way. Quentin, the band isn't quite performing yet, but you had some hangout time with them. They started talking about grilled cheese, like a lot.
Grilled cheese?
Yeah, no, but they were like arguing over cheese in grilled cheese and what the best cheese is. I don't know if you want to add your ideals into that.
I would have to say 4 cheeses is the best cheese.
4 cheeses is the best cheese. That starts a very fevered pitch, very strange conversation.
If you can't decide, just put them all in.
Hungry musicians. You are saved by the voice of Ernie, and he goes, "Hey kids," and he sees the 5 of you. You are in his line of sight. Ernie puts a box up on the counter. For all who are wondering, Ernie is dressed as the Yeti from Monsters, Inc. this year.
Yes.
He actually looks a little too warm in the costume. He's a little sweaty because it's like full-on fake fur. Yes. He's been practicing the voice, but he doesn't quite have it down. And he asks you if you would be a big help and you would put these sodas out on the drinks table. They came in late and he hasn't had time to get them out yet. This is a new brand, but it is a popular brand in Angel Grove, and he's hoping that now people will stop requesting it now that he's actually ordering it. And he offers each of you a happy Halloween. Do you help put up Parker Plenty's Super Pop Soda Shop Incorporated Pop onto the drink table?
That's a mouthful. I don't think I can repeat that, but yeah, I'll help him place them out. Hopefully I don't have to advertise it because I'll just mumble my way through that.
Great. Does anyone else help? And
Eddy will help and try his best not to just knock things over.
I'll hand Eddy like one at a time so he can two-hand each one.
I'll very delicately just kind of like hold
Jane
them
is
between
still
my
trying
palms.
to like avoid the mirror guy, so she will help as well.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
I think we have got like a conveyor belt sort of situation going on.
Yeah.
Hey, Brick, if you want, I mean, I've done the whole toilet paper mummy many years in a row before. I mean, I used like dirt and baby powder and random things like that to try to make it look better, but you could talk to Cecily and she could probably, spruce it up a little bit if you were interested.
Totally just backhanded said that your costume sucks.
Well, like you're just talking to him as I'm handing soda across.
Thanks. I'm not really
But I
a
like
big
it.
Halloween guy, so I just kind of threw this on.
I like it.
Oh, thanks.
I always need
But
a
I'll
mummy
keep that
at
in
a
mind.
party.
That's what I think too.
all right. So as you're talking, the Parker Plenty Super Pop Soda Shop Incorporated Pops brands are. I really enjoyed writing that, so I'm going to say it as many times as I
No,
possibly can.
please. I'm still trying to grasp the whole
Can
thing.
you write that down somewhere? I need to see that.
I will
Parker
write it down
Pop
in our
Soda
Discord.
Pop.
Parker
something-
Plenty's Super
Parker
Pop
Plenty.
Soda Shop.
I feel
Parker
like
Plenty
it's a
Super
perfect
Pop Soda
addition
Shop.
to your brick
Okay.
fit.
So
so there-
I feel like the theater troupe does the whole say that 5 times fast to prepare.
yeah, there's like an a cappella club and Angel
Yeah.
Grove High that actually uses it as like a warm-up technique. So every
Right.
now and then in the
That'd be
cafeteria,
perfect for one.
you'll just hear Parker Plenty's Super Pop
The
Soda
Pop Soda
Shop.
Shop. Yeah.
Parker
Parker
and the
Plenty Super
flavors,
Shop. Soda Shop. Bleh.
the flavors that have been procured from Parker Plenty Super Pop Soda Shop include root beer, fruit punch, classic cola, the flavor called Zinger, which does anyone going to try Zinger?
Oh, Cecily.
You would definitely-
Yeah, I'm definitely
Yeah.
going to try it.
Yeah,
Curiosity kills the cat, so to speak.
Zinger is just Dr. Pepper, essentially. It has
right.
the Dr. Pepper.
That's what I was
boring.
expecting. Yeah.
And then Chill Dash. Is anyone going to try Chill Dash?
Yes. I'm going to assume it's like a Sprite or a Mountain Dew kind of thing.
Yeah, it's lemon lime flavor.
Nice. I guessed right.
There is a special 6th flavor that is prized by the collegiate undergrads of Angel Grove Community College called Super Chill Dash, which is Surge, and it has enough caffeine in it that it just reaches the legal limit of how much you should have in a decade. So there's no Super Chill Dash here, but if you have friends in college or siblings that pull all-nighters, they like Parker Plenty Super Pop Soda Shop Super Chill Dash.
So did the Zinger just not manage to get into college?
What was that?
Yeah. He never got his doctorate.
Never got his degree?
That's fine.
Never got his degree.
The
It's
Zinger?
true.
Because it's like Dr. Pepper.
Zinger.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Pepper is
Yeah.
a different company, and so they had to
Right.
call it something else. But when
Yeah.
you try it, it's like, oh, it's
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Um,
It's master's degree Zinger is what it is.
so what kind of soda does everyone try? So we have people trying Zinger and Chill Dash. Does any flavor call out to anybody else?
Rick is a classic cola kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Brick is a classic cola. The root beer is really good. It is a spicy root beer instead of a creamy root beer. So, Cecily, you might actually really like the root beer flavor.
Ooh, yeah, that sounds kind of delicious. And it's kind of old timey, you know.
It actually tastes like a root beer barrel, like in your mouth, but in
Nice.
soda form.
And more of a
tastes like
traditional style.
yeah. They are working on this like weird 7th flavor that's supposed to be like a blueberry pie flavor, but they're in litigation with Jones Soda currently over it because Jones Soda has created a blueberry pie flavor and they can't figure out what to name the darn thing. I need everyone to roll me a D4, please, and let me know what your D4 score is.
Jane got a 4.
Eddy got a 2.
Cecily
Rick also got a 2.
Quentin got a 3 as well.
Quentin got a 3. Cecily, what did you get?
a 3.
3. Yeah.
A 3. Brick, you got a 3, you said?
Brick got a 2.
Brick got a 2, and Eddy, what did you get?
Eddy got a 2.
Okay, so Eddy got a 2. We're going to start with you, Eddy. So you put out sodas. What are you doing after you put out sodas?
Oh, goodness. So I imagine this time that hopefully I've managed to at least get most of the gummy candy and cobwebs out of my teeth. At this point, I'm going to kind of notice that Jane's acting a little odd and everything. Go over to her like, are you feeling all right?
Jane? You're talking to Jane?
Sorry. I spaced out
no
for a
worries.
second. I'm so sorry.
I mean, that could be the answer in character too. It's just completely.
I was just
Out of
giving you a
it.
moment if that's what you
Yeah, he starts like waving his hand in front of her, like.
I'm sorry, Eddie. What was that?
You seem a little. It seems like something bothering you. What's up?
Nothing. I just there's somebody that I keep noticing like they keep looking at me and it's making me feel weird. So I'm hiding over here.
Oh, okay. And with that, like, Eddie will just kind of position himself in a manner where he's like blocking as much of the view as possible without really like being suffocating or overbearing on the where Jane's at.
As you block Jane's view, you suddenly start to feel tired, is the best word for it. You feel the desire to like find a chair, like you don't really want to stand up anymore. It's a very strange feeling. Like you are all hyper from the sugar at one moment, and like the next moment you just start feeling really tired.
Man, this sugar crash is vicious. Is there a chair like nearby?
There is a chair nearby, but you're going to need to walk across the room and ask one of the temple guards for their chair because all the stools have been kind of moved out of the space to make room.
All right, I'm gonna move over then, and my intention is I'm gonna use whatever we need. You got this. So take an edge on a speech test to try to convince someone to give me a mundane item.
I'm not going to make
If I may.
you. I'm not good. You can roll for it. I wasn't going to make you roll, but you can roll for it if you want to.
In that case, then we'll just go with the standard thing. And politely ask one of the temple guards, right, if you're not using, may I take use of that chair? I got real exhausted all of a sudden. I would like to rest a moment.
That works. It works well. You are now sitting in a chair away from the others. Brick, you finished putting up the soda. You had a nice, cool, refreshing classic cola all your own. What do you want to do after you've had your soda?
I start stacking the cans into fun towers, and then Fenwick probably comes and knocks them over, and I'm like, I hate you.
Well, Fenwick isn't the problem. The problem, as you've kind of turned your back from the others in order to build this tower because it's starting to get big, one of the cans, and it's just for a moment, just enough that it falls down and knocks over the tower. The can that you're holding kind of falls to your hand like you weren't there for like half a second, like Casper style. But when you got to reach for another can, it's solid. Your hand is there, but like that was weird.
Phases through? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it just like phases through your hand, like your hand wasn't there for half a second. It was the weirdest thing.
Whoa, that's weird. I say to myself as I grip several other cans to make sure it wasn't a fluke of some sort.
Yeah, everything's fine. It doesn't happen again. That you can tell. It's weird. Cecily.
Yes.
Actually, not Cecily. You rolled a 6, so we're going to come back to you last. Quentin, you get up on stage because it's about time for you to go. I want you to roll me a performance check with a snag.
Oh no. Okay. So Zinger was not a good choice for a soda to drink.
We'll see. It depends on the roll of the dice right now.
Oh, come on. Can I spend a story point on that?
I'm not going to let you. This is important to this episode.
No. My stage debut, and I shit the bed. All right.
So you stuffed the bed because we are a...
Yes, my apologies.
So do you remember when you were in the place where you almost like gave up being a Power Ranger for like the security being in office? So for like half a second, not very long, but for like half a second, you look over at your bandmates as kind of the first notes start playing, and you're supposed to go, and this is just for half a second, so it's just enough for you to be offbeat. They turn into zombies in business suits. Just for a flash. Just for a second. No one else seems to notice that it happens. And then all of a sudden they're themselves again. And Matthew Lillard has started singing and is kind of looking over at you weird.
And then I noticed, I really need to start picking up the...
Yeah, you should probably start playing.
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna start going and go right.
Just imagine everyone in their underwear. Brick
Do you
yells
shout that out? Oh, great.
Yeah, Brick
You
yells
totally
from
can.
Classic.
Everyone is kind of dancing, having a good time. So
I'm gonna try to kind of play it off like the whole slow moving Frankenstein kind of thing, like it's part of the performance. If I can,
give me a persuasion on this to see how well you get away with that. I'm not going to make you do it with the snap.
Okay,
but give me that persuasion.
21.
You mollify. I have not named them, so I'm just going to name them Matthew.
Okay.
But you mollify the lead singer. The bass player absolutely hates you now, though. I just you threw off the bass player, and the bass player.
Yeah, he was setting the rhythm, and he's like,
words with you after this. Like, he was going to let you borrow his ukulele, and you are not getting that ukulele now.
No. Right.
So you're not out of the band, but
making
also,
fast friends.
They turn into zombies. So that's a little disconcerting, probably to you, Jane.
Yes.
What did you do after Eddy went to go sit down, leaving you in line of sight of the magic mirror?
Is the magic mirror still watching me?
The magic mirror is currently stuffing Tootsie Rolls in his face.
Okay. I'm gonna duck around behind. I want to walk through the crowd behind where he is, where he's stuffing his face. And if there's some place that I can like a pillar or something, or a wall that I can stand by, kind of try to watch him from behind him.
Like a stack of cans next to
There is
like a stack of cans.
There is an Alice in Wonderland croquet area with a weird little hedge maze, end of mini golf thing going on. So you can hang out over there. I need you to roll me conditioning.
Yeah, I just kind of want to turn the tables and watch him from behind him. At this point, I'm not entirely sure that he's not a putty. I got a 9.
Yeah, that 9's, you start to feel it almost immediately.
Oh, crap.
It's not tiredness. This isn't what Eddy is experiencing by any stretch of the imagination. You know how, did you ever watch DuckTales?
A very, very long time ago.
Very long time ago. So you know how Scrooge McDuck had a vault of gold coins, right? That he would swim in, and it seemed absurd because you can't swim in coins.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever think about how heavy those coins would feel on you? You start to feel a little bit of that weight on you. Just a little bit. It's not enough that you're stooping over, but if this was a hot summer day and it was really humid, it almost has that approximate feeling, but it's just it's like you're wearing a weighted blanket now, and you weren't wearing a weighted blanket about 10 seconds ago.
Okay. I'm probably just going to kind of stay where I am, but just kind of sink down into the ground and just sit and still watching the guy, but just kind of sitting down on the ground instead of standing there.
Cecily.
Yes.
You see Rita Repulsa in the crowd.
Oh no.
Do you
I don't
follow?
like that. I'm gonna go take a look. I'm gonna go check it out.
All right. Great. Rita heads back into that maze Mask of Red Death room. Are you following into the maze?
Yeah, I'm gonna go after, but I'm gonna be kind of sliding my hands down the sides of my bodice just to keep myself as small as possible, but also ready to just push down the hoop skirt if I need to.
Okay. So as Rita goes through the first room, because there are 7 rooms with 7 different colors in the Mask of Red Death, and I don't have the Wikipedia entry up right now, or my Edgar Allan Poe book handy, one of the two with it, but I think the first room is a red room. No, the last room is crimson. The first one is a yellow. Anyways, so you're in the first room, and you don't see Rita completely, but there's something. I mean, it's Rita. Your entire brain is telling you it's Rita, but the skirt is the wrong color.
Yeah, I'm is that a costume? Is somebody being?
Yeah, but as you enter the maze, you do not notice this right away, but the door closes behind you, and you're the only one in the room with Rita.
Okay. I'm going to go, would you really be so bold to just show up at a Halloween party?
No answer. Rita enters the second room. Are you going to follow?
Yeah.
And we'll come back to that. Eddy, how's chair living for you?
I'm kind of a bit of a tired day. So it took me a little bit of a moment after like sitting down and kind of like catching my breath for a second that I totally just abandoned Jane in the corner. So yeah, way to go. Awesome friend moves there. But man, maybe after I rest a little bit, I'll get up and go apologize.
You feel like you never want to get up again. The longer you sit, the more tired you're getting. But it doesn't feel like that kind of like exhausted where like the stupid coach at Angel Grove High made you run 3 miles because he's like, I can turn him into an athlete. It's like worse than that. It's like you're living a decade a second. It feels more like Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, and he chose the wrong cup. And it's happening very slowly.
So more or less kind of like a mind out of time kind of thing?
More like physical effects of drinking the wrong cup, only you're not going to explode into a million itty-bitty pieces.
Oh, that's good. That's good. As long as I...
Yeah, I'm gonna give you that. But you're just getting progressively more tired. Like you're not falling asleep. It's not sleep. Not that kind of time.
You just get like a general lethargy?
It's beyond lethargy. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, but if you haven't guessed by the next round, I will give you an actual I will verbalize what it is. But for right now...
At this point, I think I'm just going to kind of like space out and like stare in the direction of one of the temple guards, but I'm not actually looking at them, but it probably looks like I am.
They're not paying attention to you because your costume actually doesn't afford them good line of sight to your face.
Bonus.
We'll see. Brick, you still stacking cans furiously?
I've walked away from the cans. That one that like went through my hand kind of freaked me out. So I was just kind of watching Quentin up on stage. That's when I yelled at him.
So you go to walk. You don't really notice this right away because you're thinking about the can that went through your hand, but you walk right through a pillar in the center of the room, and then you're solid again. So it's just another half a second, but it's half a second longer than it was last time. It was enough for you to phase through a pillar.
I'm gonna look for. I'm gonna see Fenwick across the room, and I'm gonna be like, "Did you put something in my cola? I hate that guy."
Fenwick shouts back, What kind of person do you think I am? I wouldn't do that. You're too important to the team. And gives you a dirty look. It actually took them like motivation to say that. Like they had to scratch off liquid latex from their mouth. Like they've been working on all evening, and they did like a Billy Butcherson like across their lips, taking needles off to like yell at you that. But you have made an enemy on the team at that point, because now they are definitely not fond of you.
Oh, come on. You're making me feel bad now.
You're the one making choices. But we'll come back to that. Unless there's anything you want to do.
I thought it was a playful sports rivalry.
I mean, you're kind of turning it into something not playful sports rivalry anymore. But it might still be that. I would be slightly more concerned with phasing through objects myself.
I know. I'm just trying to have fun over here.
You should have fun. I believe in fun.
Okay. Yeah, I'm phasing through objects. Do I see any of my buddies? Are my buddies around anywhere?
Give me an alertness roll.
Enemy on the team. Alertness.
How alert are you?
Not very. 6.
Not alert. You don't even see Jane hiding out in the Wonderland hedge maze. The only person you can actually really see is Quentin. You haven't lost sight of Eddy, but like he's just kind of just sitting there in the corner, a la REM's Losing My Religion. So you're not sure if you want to bother him, but Yeah, you don't really see any of your friends, and Quentin is otherwise occupied.
Okay. Well, I do see Eddy, so I'm gonna walk up to Eddy, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey, are you feeling okay? Because some strange stuff is going on here."
Eddie just kind of like blinks a few times, takes a moment even to kind of register someone's talking. He's like, what?
I've had some like really weird things happen. My hand went through a can. I just walked through a pillar. Are you feeling weird, or has anything weird happened to you since you've been here?
I don't know. It's just like mega sugar crush or something. Maybe too much. Those like gummy candies or that soda. But
Eddy, you lose your train of thought completely.
There's the Temple Guardians and Olmec back. Yeah, I remember that show. It was
right. All right. Yeah. Hey, just sit here for a minute, okay?
I'm gonna jump out at you. It's just not cool.
I'm gonna walk away from
take
Eddy
that
as
medallion from you. You had
talk.
to earn that medallion. You fucked.
Oh my god, it's so good. I am going to cut you off though, because I could listen to this ramble forever, and I don't want to get entranced.
And I walk over to the sodas that are left. I'm assuming there are sodas left.
Yeah, it's a whole big thing.
And I'm gonna maybe call up Alpha and say, hey Alpha, Zordon, something weird's going on at this Halloween party thing we're all at. We had some of this soda, and all of a sudden weird things are happening. Eddy is really tired and talking nonsense. I phased through some objects, so that's new. I haven't been able to talk to Jane or Cecily about anything yet, and Quentin is busy with other things. Can I send you guys? Can I teleport this soda to you guys, and you can like run tests on it or something?
Did you do that in the center of the room, or did you leave?
Oh no,
room?
I walked away from Quentin, so I walked toward like a corner or
yes.
behind a locker or something.
Alpha says, well, we're not experienced. There's no readings or anything coming from your location. If you'd like to teleport and scan something, we can certainly teleport you into the command center. That's not a problem.
Well, I don't know if I want to teleport. Can I teleport the drink to them?
No, you have to go with the drink if you wish to teleport something. You have to teleport with it, because if he doesn't have a power coin and a soda does not have a power coin, it's not going to be able to enter the command center. The soda is not chosen as a warrior bird, unfortunately.
The soda does not have enough attitude.
The soda does not. Well, it does have attitude. Just
it seems like the sodas have plenty of attitude.
I would say that's the problem, actually. But yeah, if you want to,
in
you can
that
totally
case, I don't want to leave my friends, so I'm not gonna do that.
Quentin is also struggling. Quentin, so they get halfway through Knights of Sidonia, they get to the really cool bridge with like that weird accordion ABBA break, and wouldn't you know it, your bandmates and a couple of people in the crowd turn into zombies wearing business suits for twice as long as last time.
Okay, just focus on the song.
You are not turning into a zombie yourself. I'm just going to give you that.
Right. Okay.
But the problem is the longer they're zombies, the more you lose track of the song.
Yeah. Do you want me to make a performance check to try to keep this going?
Do you want to continue on the stage with them? Are you trying to hold it together? Is that what you want to do?
I'm going to try to keep it together.
Give me a performance roll with a snack.
Yeah, I feel like that is the bad choice to try to keep it together, but that is what I am going to.
Life is made of choices, Quentin.
Oh my god.
That's a 3. The only thing that keeps you from being kicked out of the band is that a fight breaks out down in someone trying to mosh to Knights of Sidonia by Muse. So the only thing that saves your bacon is that the band has to end early because someone is trying to mosh to Knights of Sidonia by Muse, which is not really a mosh.
Yeah, right. I feel like when the mosh starts, that's what snaps me out of the pause of the days that I was in.
Yeah, no one's a zombie anymore, but they were a zombie for twice as long this time, and you're not sure, but Matthew may have kind of looked at you with like a angry hunger in his eyes, a la Walking Dead.
Great. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's just something to think about.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you think about that as we head to Jane. Hey, Jane, give me that conditioning roll again real quick, please.
Hey, got an 18. Yes.
Got an 18. That's great. You're only really saved because you were already on your knees. You now have 3 weighted blankets on you. Not physically. There are no physical weighted blankets on you, but it really feels like it. You're not 100% sure, but you think that if you tried to get up right now, you wouldn't be able to get up.
Okay.
Like to full height.
I want to look around to see if I can see any of my fellow rangers.
I will give you Quentin still being on stage.
Okay.
Because Rick and Eddy are together right now, you can see it, but it looks like Rick is trying to help Eddy. But you're unsure. But Quentin, you can fully make eye contact with right now.
Okay. I can make eye contact, but I don't know if he is like actually paying attention. So I'm going to try to like wave him down to like I want to get his attention to let him know that something's not right. And if he doesn't get it, I'm going to try something else.
Give me a brawn roll.
You want me to try to do an alertness as well with a snag or whatnot?
This is going to depend on this brawn roll.
Okay.
14.
You know how you have a man catcher that's like probably one of the longest extended, looks like the heaviest weapon of all 5 of the ranger weapons?
Yeah.
It feels like you're trying to lift 2 of those to wave. It's hard to do. You do it. You manage it, but it is not an enthusiastic wave. Like,
okay.
You're hoping that Quentin saw. Quentin, give me an alertness roll to see if you manage to see it. All right.
If he doesn't, I have another idea that I want to try if I can.
12.
Give you a 12. It's kind of weird, Quentin. Jane, like it's one of those things where like when someone just kind of wiggles their finger like they want you to play again, it doesn't really look like a full wave. But Jane is not a zombie, so there's that. And if everyone else is going to become zombies, that is something to consider.
I after seeing that, I'm going to try to use that as the transition to move away from the band, not only to touch base with another Power Ranger about what the hell is going on, but mainly to be like, hey, that lady in the crowd's waving at me, I'm sorry guys, and kind of move my way out to try to play it off. But
and we are going to come back to you getting to Jane in a moment. Now we're going to go to Cecily.
Yes,
who's locked in a room with who you believe is Rita Repulsa in a small maze that looks very much like the Mask of Red Death set.
Oh, this is creepy, but I'm very brave, so I am going to try to talk to her again.
Are you following her into another room, or are you going to shout?
I'm going to shout.
Okay. What do you want to say to Rita Repulsa if she was in the room with you right now?
I'm going to say, if you're going to show up here, you might as well come and face us.
Give me intimidation.
I half picture whoever Cecily is following is literally just in a costume.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, man.
Happy Halloween, everyone, by the way. Yes. Oh, God. I can't wait to find out what this intimidation roll is. Unless I've broken your character sheet.
22.
22. Hey, Cecily?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you dressed as Rita Repulsa.
What?
That's you dressed as Rita Repulsa with a Rita Repulsa wand in your hand in the third room of the Mask of Red Death maze. Definitely you, not someone in costume and makeup. It's you dressed as Rita Repulsa.
What the freak is going on here?
I'm gonna let you think about that. Unless there's something you want to do right away.
Not that I can think of in this exact moment.
Great. I'm going to give you a second to think about that. I also don't want to add to it, but it's about this time that you notice the door is closed, and that door was definitely open before. And as Jane and Eddy have told you, the doors aren't supposed to lock, but they're not supposed to close during business hours. And Ernie's G-Spar that they learned from their time working at the Ernest Juice Bar in Stone Canyon. So you notice that the door is closed too, which not great.
Oh shoot, I forgot to tell them about the roundhouse kicks on the doors.
Oh yeah. Right now you're a little too tired for roundhouse kicks, Eddy, but at least Brick is with you. If you can manage to pull your thoughts together, I need you to give me, Eddy, give me a... What do I want here? Give me a survival roll.
Survival roll, eh? Boop. 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 I rolled a 10.
Great. You've got 10 words before you forget how to speak. So whatever you want to say to Brick, you better make it count.
1 second. Let me think about this for a moment.
Are we all having fun this Halloween? We're having a good time.
Yeah, this was
It's
a
been a
good
lot of
time.
fun.
Trying to figure out how I'm going to apologize to Fenwick. Trying to figure out what I'm going to say.
I got to figure out how I'm going to apologize to the band as a whole.
Oh, that might be the worst of your problems in about 5 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
But Eddy, you have 10 words. Brick, you're right with Eddy. So if you have anything that you want to do or say while Eddy is thinking of those 10 words.
I got an idea.
Okay.
I got an idea. All right, so I'm going to look at Brick, and I'm going to motion to. So we got the power coins, right? We have what are the manner of our communicators? Do we have a wrist thing or something, or?
You have your wrist communicators work like your helmet does, so you can talk to each other.
And I'm gonna motion to his wrist and say, where was it? 1 second, I lost my. Goodness gracious. Okay. I'm gonna motion that and say, it's now time for Olmec to tell us about Halloween.
Olmec?
That's about Halloween. Oh, you got 10. Good. Okay. So, yeah. So, Brick, you hear that from Eddy.
Olmec, a big disembodied face.
Oh, is that the name? I forgot his name.
Yeah,
Well-
from the temple.
Yeah. So you're assuming that Brick knows who Olmec is for. But Brick, you did see Eddy point to their communicator.
Yes, I was gonna wait for them to say what they were gonna say, but I think this is a perfect opportunity since Eddy is super tired and can't speak and will probably not be super helpful in
Par for the course.
in the moments to come. I'm thinking I give him Olmec is a giant face, and so is Zordon. Maybe that has something to do with that. So I'm going to put the soda can in his hand, and I'm going to ask Alpha, I'm going to pick. What am I going to do? I have to do this so that people don't see me do this. I am going to. Eddy is sitting down in a chair. I'm assuming just a.
Yeah, it's like a stool chair. It has a back, but it's
okay. I'm gonna drag Eddy to behind some place so that people can't see us. And
Great,
I'm going
super. To give me a finesse roll on that.
Please. Oh my God.
It's a 10. So you get kind of across the room, and then, if anyone was looking at you, it kind of looks like the chair breaks. But the truth of the matter is, Brick, that you phase through the chair, and you and Eddy kind of go butt over tea kettle onto the floor. You are not still you are solid again, so it's fine. But you phase much longer.
Okay. Am I in the light of sight? Can people see me?
No one is paying attention to you currently.
Okay, can I contact Alpha on the communicator and tell them again? I'll be like, Alpha, Zordon, it's getting worse here. I'm going to send Eddy. If you can teleport Eddy to the command center, I'm going to give him a soda so that you guys can run tests on it to see what's going on.
Alpha doesn't respond, but Eddy is teleported away with the soda.
Alpha doesn't respond. Is that cryptic or is that...
No, it's not cryptic. It's just that the urgency in your voice made it very clear that it was time to do. And so Eddy disappears. Jane, you see this just out of your line of sight. You see what happened to Brick, and you can tell that it's not what other people would have seen. Like, it wasn't them tripping. Like, Brick looked like he phased through something. And you see that all happening out of the corner of your eye from where you are in the hedge maze. Quentin, I think you were next, weren't you?
3.
Yes. So that was Brick. I'm keeping track here. So Quentin, give me. I need whatever your highest smarts is. Give me your highest smarts.
That would be science, physics.
Great. Give me that physics roll. Right. Sweet physics roll.
Come on, math with a purpose.
Math with a purpose. That 14. You get to Jane, but as you get to Jane, everything around you. You ever seen Night of the Living Dead?
Mm-hmm.
You remember how it was all black and white and people were turning into zombies?
Oh.
Now imagine that, but imagine everyone is a zombie in a business suit. And they all are starting to turn to face you in judgment of your life choices.
Great. So I'm not only in a black and white movie, but everybody around me is a businessman zombie judging me.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. So that happens as you approach Jane. Jane, as you are approached by Quentin, I need you to give me a conditioning roll, and you're looking for a high score.
Okay.
You're not going to like what happens if it's not a high score.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Before I just horribly bomb this,
cheese.
can I will be able to re-roll this with a story point. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Establish that beforehand so it doesn't
okay.
go actually, no.
I'm gonna re-roll that.
I would
that
re-roll
was
the
a 5.
I would re-roll the 5 for sure.
A 22.
Great. You can still talk to Quentin, but you are so you're a military kid, right? Did you ever have to do those barbed wire underneath obstacle course things in the military?
Yeah.
So there's nothing there intellectually, but spiritually it feels like if you try to get any higher, you're going to hit barbed wire. It's a weight thing and a mental thing now. Things are getting heavier, but you also feel an impending sense of you're going to hurt yourself if you try to get any higher.
Okay. Am I still able to sit up the way that I was, or at this point am I laying down?
You're prone, essentially.
Okay.
Not completely, but it's enough that the military would be yeah, that's prone.
Okay.
You're retreating into military mindset at this point a little bit.
And Quentin is there now, right?
Quentin is there, but you are not a black and white zombie, but you are black and white because now Quentin you're just doing everything black and white.
Yeah. I'm just gonna get to where Jane is and be like, okay, is everybody a zombie right now, or am I losing my mind? Why are you on the floor?
I can't get up.
Why are you on the
floor?
I would say for the purposes of the podcast, please actually enunciate. I know you are whispering to each other.
Right, yeah.
But for the listeners,
my apologies.
Please do enunciate because no one can see your face.
You want me to repeat what I said or whatnot?
I would love that.
Yeah. So I will get up to Jane and everything and just kind of whisper to her, just why is everybody a zombie, or am I just losing my mind? Why are you on the floor?
I can't get up.
You can't. Okay.
There's a weight pressing down on me, and if I feel like if I get up, I'm going to be physically hurt. I can't move.
Is this an anxiety thing, or I'm going to try to kneel down and try to help her?
No, it's not. It's not anxiety. I came over here to hide from Mirror Guy, and all of a sudden I just felt have you ever used one of those weighted blankets? I feel like there's many weighted blankets pushing me down, and I feel like if I try to get up, I will be physically hurt. I can't move.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try to help you up. Let me know if it hurts if I try to help you too.
Okay.
Give me a might roll.
Might. Awesome.
Give me a might roll.
I believe in you.
My prediction is I'm gonna fall down.
I would suggest Jane, what is your might? What is your might skill score?
Martial arts for boxing.
No, what is a D4,
D6?
D6. Quentin, what is your might score?
Big old goose egg.
Great. I would suggest you use lend assistance and you ask Jane for a story point so that you can roll this with edge.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
So she would spend a story point and I would roll it with
You spend the story
edge.
point and you get... I'm doing this on the fly because I don't have the page open in the book, so I can't remember, but lend assistance is something you can do both in and out of Morphin, and now's the time.
Yeah,
More
definitely. I'm definitely
than
going to do lend assistance with her to try to help her to her feet.
I believe in you.
So I would
got
still make
this.
the roll, and she's the one that spends the story point.
Yeah, you just roll it with edge now, essentially.
Okay.
Yes.
20.
That is a
Wow.
20. I am going to give this to you as you help Jane to her feet. She is a little heavier than she should be. Like there's like something mentally that is wearing her down physically. With the 20, I'm going to give that to you. As you help her to her feet, there's like an aura of blackness around her that wasn't there a second ago, but it's starting to waver as you help her up.
By the way, Jane, I'm kind of like straining as I help her to her feet and everything. Not only do I feel like I should work out more, but I don't see color right now. And
Are you okay?
I don't know. Everybody looks like a zombie except you, and you have this big black like splotch thing going around you. It's hard to explain.
Do I feel anything now that I'm up?
You still feel heavy, but Quentin's teamwork is helping. I am going to give everyone a hint because Eddy is going to be in the med chair, and so I want to give kind of this generalized hint. Quentin, there's a reason they're not just normal zombies.
Yeah. It probably has something to do with my nightmare.
They're zombies with careers.
I just want you to think
Career
about
zombies.
it. We're going to go to Cecily, but I want you to think about zombies in business suits.
They're office drones. That's what they are.
And we're going to come back to Cecily, who is facing herself as Rita Repulsa in a locked room, Mask of Red Death maze. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have so much glee about that, but it's such a good scenario. Cecily, what do you want to do in your very own private, weird Dagobah cave?
But I think I'm going to try to. I'm like, what do I do to get, fight myself? I feel like I'm like, do I fight myself? Do I try to talk myself down and be like, are we really evil? Are we dressing up? What is going on? I don't know what to say to you, me.
Give me a performance roll to see if you can kind of perform yourself the way it's a weird word to do, but to perform your way out of your indecision, give me a performance roll.
I got a 9. Can I re-roll that? Use a story point?
I'm gonna give that's usually higher than would be for a reroll for a story point. But because I'm being very cryptic tonight and having a little too much glee, I'm gonna let you re-roll.
Okay.
Because my glee is overtaking my impartiality as a GM. So
13.
So it's you. Well, you're telling yourself it's you. But the question is, out of all of the evil villainesses that you know in history, why are you Rita? Like, why not Typhoid Mary, who poisoned people in New York? Why not one of Henry VIII's wives, but the evil version? Why not an exact doppelganger? Why are you, of all people, Rita Repulsa?
Probably because that's my personal hardest thing to beat.
And that little bit of admission, a little bit of vulnerability, honesty. She raises her staff like she's going to try to knock down the mace, get at you. But for just a moment, she stumbles and blinks in black smoke just a little bit. Just a touch. Just a tiny little bit. But it's enough. And we're going to come back to you because now we're going to go to Eddy at the command center, who is in the med chair that Jane was in. in episode 2, session 1. And so Alpha is scanning you, and he's asking you questions, but Eddy, you can't, it's so hard to answer them.
I'm sorry, Kirk, I can't progress down these steps. I'm not getting the right answers. I don't know what you're asking.
Okay. That concerns Alpha. Zordon is concerned, but because he doesn't have eyebrows, the idea of conveying concern is really hard for Zordon because he can talk it, but his facial expression is like a one thing. Zordon looks at you and goes, from what we can tell in the terminal, this is a spell, but it's a very unusual spell. This is not something you can fight with morphing technology. It's something inside of you that is causing you are physically aging. Every second you are aging another year.
Out of character? That's scary as frick.
In GM out of character, I know. But now you have that information. What do you want to do about it?
So I'm aging rapidly. I'm honestly at quite a bit of a loss here as far as doing anything about it. You have a thing where you can ask the GM for help, right? Let me take a very quick look. I do not believe I do, but I can take a double check.
Few characters have that. I can't remember.
I have Small Town Roots, which is the petition the GM for advice.
Small Town Roots.
Yeah. That is not a little ditty that I got. That's our Yellow Ranger buddy.
Okay.
Let's capable.
So out of character, I'll do this out of character for you because I don't know how to do this in character. So I'm going to kind of talk you through this because I can't think how to do this otherwise. So in the interview that we had together, you talked about something that I made a choice as the GM for what your greatest fear is. And I determined that what Eddy's greatest fear is would be, I think it was something about you approach Eddy like Eddy's an old soul, right? Something like that. And so this is almost like being careful what you wish for. And you're getting physically the thing that you've been wishing for this whole time.
I'm going to kind of fumble in, because I'm still wearing my jeans under the costume and everything, because it felt kind of awkward wearing a borrowed costume from Cecily and having my boxers or something. It didn't feel right. So I still had all that on. And I kind of fumble around in my jeans pocket and I pull out a Pogs mesher that I have in general attempt of kind of not taking things so seriously, maybe that little whimsy childish type thing that I got on me.
I want you to
think about that a little bit more.
Give me an intimidation roll.
Oh, I rolled a 4. I would. I'm going to go ahead and use a story point for this. It feels.
Have you used a story point? Oh, this is a new scene for you. Yeah, I'll let you use a story point. Yeah. And
I haven't used one yet this session either way. So
it's a good time to do it.
Is there anything I got that I can? Well, that's if I'm capable of reroll a snag on any scene. No, it's not a snag. Oh, I got a 16 that time. So
16.
Final answer, 16.
16. You know what? You've always been kind of out of step. You always have to explain to people what Pogs are, but Pogs do make you happy. I mean, even if they come from a place where you've either saved them or something like that, or maybe you just didn't have a lot when you were younger and this was the one fad you were able to get in on, it still means a great deal to you. It still has a lot of joviality. It's very youth-centric, and it's something that kind of keeps you in the heartbeat of life. And in that moment, the med chair goes a little crazy, and there's a little shadow of you that develops around you, and it shifts a little bit. And Alpha goes, aye, whatever that is, that's bad, and it doesn't belong here. But you're still in the med chair, but you feel a little younger now, and your faculties are returning to you a little bit. You feel like a release of kind of this Edgar Allan Poe vice grip of aging that was on you. Just a little bit of a relief. Not perfect yet, but it's something.
All right. So I have this kind of dark miasma of some sorts kind of around me that shifted out from where I was, or?
It's like an extra shadow on you right now. It's It's like if we were doing Peter Pan on stage. It would be like that.
I'm going to ask Johnny Five, you got some scissors for this? I think I saw them do that last time I've seen something like this.
Alpha goes, aye, aye, aye. Not getting the reference. Alpha goes, aye, aye, aye. It's a part of you. It's attached to you. Scissors aren't going to. This is a part of you. This is a part of this spell.
And with that, I'm going to pantomime scissors with my fingers and see if just basically going full ham, silly idiot is going to kind of help separate me from this shadow.
I want you to make a choice. You can either do this and put all of your energy into performing this action, or you can use persuasion and have this be truth coming through and you becoming enlightened. So you can either perform the heck out of this, or you're persuading yourself to let go of this kind of cantankerous projection of yourself that you used to keep yourself safe. So performance or persuasion, one of the two.
In that case, I guess I'm not going to do the pantomime and silliness. Go with the persuasion thing. So I guess I'm having a heart-to-heart with Shadow Me at this point.
Yep. That's what it takes sometime. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Oh, perfect. Rolled an 11.
I mean, an 11 is good enough for horseshoes, as they say. It's not perfect, it's jagged, but you're getting about halfway through, and every little bit that you cut out of this shadow from your shelf is a little bit more. You feel more like yourself. Speaking of feeling more like yourself, Britt, what are you doing? What did you do after you sent Eddy off to the command center?
I'm looking for Cecily. So I'm kind of like checking all of like the doors that are kind of like around me to see if I can find her.
Give me acrobatics.
Or hoping that this weird power thing that I've got for phasing through things will help me in some way. You said acrobatics?
Give me acrobatics. So
8.
So hey, you know what you didn't know before?
What? Can I story point, or should I let you talk?
I think this will be helpful.
Okay.
You accept this 8. So you can't find Cecily. You're kind of running around. As you're running into the first floor hallway, you phase through the floor. You did not know that there was a basement to Ernie's juice bar, and now you are just in a basement stacked with stuff. You literally phased through a whole floor, and you find yourself alone in a dark, unlit basement.
Oh no. I imagine myself falling on like a bunch of boxes, maybe old, maybe like some.
You actually fall on like some street hockey equipment, so it doesn't hurt. But it's like you're tangled in PVC and
I was going to say like polo shirts that say Ernie's Juice Bar for the employees that he doesn't have.
Oh my God, hilarious. Well, they'd all be Hawaiian shirts, as Jane and Eddy have found out. But suffice it to say, you find yourself alone, essentially. You went searching for others or helping others, but like you phased through, you essentially separated yourself from the world.
Okay, I'm going to get up and kind of brush myself off and just kind of look around and be like, man, I knew I should have had some breakfast this morning.
Always have your breakfast.
Always have your breakfast. I'm going to do a little bit of exploring this little area, see if I can maybe try and find a door back up to upstairs, or maybe it's dark. Maybe I'm trying to find like a light switch or something.
You find a pull cord, but you try to turn the light and your hand phases through the pull cord. Oh my God. Brick is going to, he's gonna, what's around me? Is it all just, it's just stuff.
Just stuff. Well, since I can't use my physical, okay, can I pick anything up, or am I just like phasing through everything that I'm like trying to touch?
You only seem to be phasing through things like light bulb pull cords and door handles. Everything else seems to be fine. It's the weirdest thing.
Pillars and...
Yeah, the pillars. but like just like moving boxes, like whatever's going on, it's not affecting you that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am going to check up on Eddy, and I'm gonna call Alpha and see how Eddy's doing. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna ask Zordon and Alpha, what's going on with Eddy? Have you guys found anything?
Alpha goes, aye, it's some kind of, well, it's we haven't seen this kind of spell in a long time. It's called it's a shadow spell. Zordon, and Zordon goes, calm yourself, Alpha. This is something that they have to work through themselves. Their ranger selves cannot help them at the moment. Brick, what has happened to you?
What has happened to me?
What kind of symptoms are you experiencing?
Oh, you're asking me. Okay.
Yes.
You're asking me as
Zordon is asking you in my Zordon voice.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I'm phasing through objects, and I just fell through the floor into the basement of the juice bar, and it's dark. I can't see anything. I can't find a light. I can't find a door. I can't. There's so much happening, and I'm starting to feel a little freaked out here.
Zordon paused for a moment and then says, "Mr. Kerrigan, this shadow spell illuminates the thing that is the greatest fear for yourself. Where you are is not an accident by any means, and only you can find a way out. But it is never as difficult as it appears to be. One of the things that you've learned as a ranger, hopefully, is to ask others for help. I can only conclude by being alone by the cause of this spell that only others may help you find your way back to the light."
Okay, how am I supposed to contact? I can't get a hold of anybody other than you guys.
What are your surroundings?
Stuff.
Is it stuff that physically moves that can make a noise?
I guess there's some. It's a lot of boxes. There's some. I fell on some hockey equipment. Maybe I can take. I go and I grab. I don't know, a stick, one of the hockey sticks, and I just start sort of smacking the walls and the ceiling. How tall is the ceiling? Can I reach the ceiling with like a hockey stick?
You can reach the ceiling. It's not claustrophobia, but it's it's a little snug for you on all sides.
Okay, I think I'm gonna do that thing, that like downstairs neighbors do when they get upset and like hit the ceiling with the hockey stick.
Give me a might roll to see if anybody hears you. 18. Someone has heard you, and you'll find out when we come back to you. Brick. Jane and Quentin, since you are with each other, I'm going to let you decide how you do this. But Jane, you have been helped up. You feel a little better. You are still very weighted down. Quentin, lots of zombies in business suits.
Jane, we should get out of here. Should definitely
Okay.
get out of here.
What are you seeing exactly?
Zombies in business suits everywhere. Everyone.
Oh, okay.
Everyone looks like a dead person in his business suit.
Are they coming towards you hostily, or?
Some of them look rather hungry.
Okay. Yeah, let's I might need your help.
Yeah, are you saying
but
you're pretty much paralyzed? Is that what you're?
It feels heavy. It just feels really, really heavy on me.
Oh,
Quentin?
All right. Yeah.
The zombies are not moving toward you.
Okay.
They're looking at you, but they're not moving in your direction.
Yeah. Yeah, it's more of a judgment-based thing.
It is more of a
Judging me.
judgment-based thing.
Yeah. Yeah, let's try to get out of here, Jane.
Okay.
And I guess
Can I
they all
walk?
feel like they just look at me with judging eyes. I don't know.
They're the zombies are judging you?
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Give me, Quentin, give me a might to see how far you and Jane can get.
I believe in you.
No edge for this. This is a walking might. So this is a
14. Yes.
14.
Awesome.
The zombies aren't saying bray to you, Quentin. They are saying a different word. You thought it was brains because that's what zombies always say in movies. But they're actually saying the word peace to you.
Peace.
Jane,
Mm-hmm.
you get a text on your phone in that moment, and the phone vibrates in your pocket. That text is from other Jane seeing how you're doing and sending you a picture of an invitation to an art opening at the Art Institute.
What is going on here, Quentin? I don't know what's going on.
I don't know, but the zombies are hungry for peace now.
I mean, so am I, but
yeah,
I think we all
that's
want
fair.
peace.
Yeah, okay. Somebody
not
slipped
helpful, I'm
something in there. Something.
Quentin, so you had this experience with Cecily versus the lady in gray.
All right.
Did you tell Jane about the experience?
With the lady in gray, I don't.
Yeah, down in
know
the
if I
cave
did.
where you almost
Exactly. It was me and Cecily there. I don't know how much me and Cecily really talked about it afterwards.
So did you talk to anyone about what happened to you in that cave and your moment of weakness?
I mean, I feel like Cecily knows about it,
It's true.
but so I might have
mean-
only mainly talked to her about it, but I don't know.
Okay,
Probably. Yeah. I don't think he necessarily had a feeling like he needed to share it.
Jane-
Past Cecily.
Okay, so we're gonna go this way. Jane, how do you feel when you get text messages from the other Jane? Like, because she doesn't do it all the time, but she really wants you to come to the Art Institute for one, because of the conversation you've had and maybe a couple other off-screen conversations. Like, she's trying to build a bridge here. How do you feel? How do you feel in this kind of not friendship, but like not quite a mentorship, but not a friendship that you seem to be building with other Jane?
I feel excited about this opportunity that's in front of me, but I also feel really guilty because I know that this is not the path that my parents necessarily wanted me to take. So while I'm excited, it also makes me feel guilty.
Do you think guilt ever kind of weighs you down?
Way down. Yeah.
So you're going to all get a communication from Alpha, and they will be whispering. But you do hear the words shadow spell. And because you aren't artists, I will give you this. That you know enough about shadow self-work. And after everything that happened in the competition, and you've been living with these feelings of guilt settling deep inside of you, maybe festering a little bit. And if it is a spell that's manifesting weight on you, literal weight, maybe it's time to share some of that guilt. Maybe the painting wasn't enough.
This brings up a whole new conundrum because she also wouldn't want to burden her friends with her guilt.
My guilt is giving me more guilt.
Give me a conditioning roll. Give me a conditioning roll, Jane.
Oh no, I shouldn't have said that. Can I take that back? Can we rewind?
Nope, you just, I mean, it's a real thing to feel.
15.
That's a 15. You fall to the floor. Like, Quentin just can't hold on to you. And it's not because Quentin doesn't have strength, it's the spell.
It's probably because Quentin doesn't have strength.
No, it was almost like Jane. It was almost like Jane pushed you off as she fell to the floor. Like, it wasn't that you lost your grip. And I want you to sit with that for a moment as we go to Cecily.
Yes.
Cecily, it's time. What do you want to say to Rita you, or do to Rita you?
I'm going to say, I'm not afraid of you. I know what I'm capable of. We don't have to fight each other. We could just, we could walk out of here, me and you.
Give me a finesse roll.
Oh my God. That's a 10.
You barely avoid the wand and the crashing debris of the maze. Wasn't a good enough answer.
I'm going to say, I'm still not afraid. And I know that me and my friends would be able to take down any part of this that I'm the most afraid of.
Give me a persuasion. If you don't have skills in truth, don't take specialization. But if you have a specialization in truth, take it. Otherwise, it's a straight D20 persuasion roll.
Cool. That's a 7.
You feel Rita's wand, and Rita you is coming upon you rather quickly as we go back to Eddy. You're still in the med chair, but you're cutting through the shadow spell on you. What do you want to do?
Goodness. What happens when I go to stand up?
You've cut through enough that you can stand up, but you still feel, let's say you feel about 60, 70. So you feel like you're about ready to head for a Barca Lounger with a nice cold drink and reruns of Price is Right at 10 in the morning.
Has this shadow, whatever, that's kind of doing its thing, is still relatively amorphous or whatever? Or
it's relatively amorphous, but it's at least gone enough that you can think clearly and you can kind of remember things, which is very
Oh, man. I totally just like the Ben and Jane. Definitely just... I'm really glad that Brick got that reference. Man, I don't understand how... wasn't really talking about anything too terribly distinct.
So I want you to make a decision. You can either contact your friend and worry about yourself later and say something really heartfelt to help get them through their shadow spells, or you can get out of this med chair, take care of yourself, and then take care of your friend. You can decide what you want to do.
I'm going to try to contact Brick, help him out. Okay,
what do you want to say to Brick? And then we're going to go to Brick, who's going to potentially reply based on what's happening.
Hey man, I really appreciate you being able to help me out even when I was just speaking weird and all that. But kind of have a feeling that everyone's going through a bunch of crap right now. So what do you need? What do you need help with? How are you doing?
I'm in this basement and I'm trying to, I don't know, I can't really, it seems like every time I try to help myself out, nothing's happening. So I'm trying to see if I can get somebody else's attention down here so I can get out of here. I've just been banging on the walls with a stick. But yeah, I don't.
As you bang and you kind of confess this vulnerability to Eddy, the basement door open and Fenwick is at the top of the basement stairs going, dude, how did you get down here? This door was locked. Who are you talking to?
I take my hand and I put it behind my head real quick, like I'm like scratching the back of my head, like, oh, Fanny, my boy. Wow, am I glad to see you.
Really? Because you've been a big butt all night. Jesus, man.
I know, dude. I'm sorry. Listen, like some weird stuff started to happen and like I was feeling like a little weird and self-conscious and I took it out on you and that was totally not cool of me, but I'm so sorry about that. You just like when you pushed me on the Legos, it rubbed me the wrong way and I got a little snarky and I shouldn't have done that. So I'm sorry, man. But hey, how did you find me? Did you hear me banging or did you hear noise or where did you come from?
Yeah, everyone's kind of leaving the party. It's getting a little weird out there, so everyone's kind of heading home early. Apparently there was something going on. You didn't have any of that soda, did you, man? Things are starting to get weird, but people are going home and I think that's gonna help quite a bit.
Yeah, I did have some of that soda. I think it I don't know, weird stuff. I'm definitely never having any of that again.
Yeah, there's a couple of us heading to the hospital if you want to go with us. And we're all going to kind of get checked out to make sure it wasn't, we're not going to fail any drug tests. We want to make sure it's on the level. So we're heading to see the team doctor at the hospital if you want to go with us.
Yeah, I'll come with you guys.
All right. And with that, Fenwick leading you, Fenwick holds out their hand and it's this great tableau of the light of the door frame surrounds them. And there's the whole thing. As you come out of the darkness, you feel really solid in yourself again, being able to ask others for help. And because of the time frame, because it's now it's getting kind of late in the podcast, I'm going to say that the spell wears off of you as it's wearing off of Eddy, and you get to communicate with each other. So in the interests of time, I want Quentin and Jane to have a moment, and then I want Cecily to have a moment. And we're just going to say as the night wears on, the spell wears off, but because of time, I don't want to... It would get very long. But it was really good, and that's really good. So we're going to go to Quentin and Jane. And whatever is going to happen now, you have to decide if you want to live with the zombies and the weirdness, or you have to decide if you're going to open up to someone.
Jane will kind of just, I feel I won that scholarship and I feel guilty for taking it.
You saying this out loud?
Yeah, she's saying this out loud to Quentin. And that's what this feels like. The weight weighing me down is I feel guilty. I know it's not what my family wanted for me, even though it's what I want for myself, and I feel guilty wanting that.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't think you took it or, did anything like that from anyone. You earned it. You should follow what makes you happy, which is something I should probably listen to myself on. But, actually everything's happening with me kind of reminds me of that gray lady nightmare thing me and Cecily went through. I had this whole vision of what I thought was successful in life, and maybe this has something to do with it. So your weight is your guilt, and I'm going to try to actually physically help her back up again.
Give me that. We're going to do that lend assistance again. Give me that might with an edge.
Okay.
I'm not going to make you spend a story point for that. This story point is on me.
18.
Nice.
Lend assistance. I know what it sounds like, but it is really the power of friendship. And as you share this burden, this guilt that you've kept bottled up inside of you, you feel lighter. It doesn't help you necessarily make a decision, but you just opened up a part of yourself that's very hard to do, especially not being from around here and not really knowing if you should trust anyone and having a lot of feelings, but you don't feel as weighted down. That's for darn sure, and you're really glad that you don't feel as weighted down.
I'll keep trying to help carry her and help her kind of walk out or whatnot. The longer that you walk with Jane, the more color returns to the world. But if you would like to stop seeing zombies, you could elucidate. A little bit on what happened if you'd like to. Yeah, I know he doesn't want to try to take away from what Jane was trying to share with it. So right now he didn't want to share.
No, please.
Too much,
but let's get rid of your zombies. let's share some feelings to break through some walls.
For the longest time, I always thought success in life was more of a financial thing to obtain, I guess. So I kind of always thought I needed to go in business or, I don't know, become a CPA or something like that to try to make that happen. But I don't think that's really me.
And that's okay.
So
you just need to figure out what makes you happy and do it.
I mean, that's kind of what I was trying to do on stage until I started seeing dead people everywhere.
Well, then you'll have to get back up there.
Yeah.
Maybe not on when it's not Halloween anymore and things are back to normal.
Yeah. Normal is going to be a bit of a different definition for us, I think, for the future.
No, this is true.
But yeah, you shouldn't feel guilty for following things that make you happy. And that should be said for both of us, I think.
Yeah. You should find what makes you happy and not what you think other people think should make you happy.
Yeah, definitely.
That sentiment is not decisive by nature, but you are a teenager. So decisiveness is not necessarily the best thing for a teenager. And that is, that moves you. Maybe being in a band isn't what you want. Maybe it is what you want, but having the power to decide, you get to decide what you want is power in itself. Just in interests of time, I'm going to say that you two kind of head off and you're going to check, you head off to check on everyone. Because you're rangers, I'm going to be like, you're making sure everyone else is okay. People are starting to mill out. Ernie is throwing away the soda because some people are having some reactions to it, but it's not a spell. It's more like people are having an allergic reaction. So he thinks it's a bad batch. Eddy, I want you to talk to Cecily and see how Cecily's doing. And so I want Eddy and Cecily to have a moment. So.
I'm still at the command center thing, yeah?
You are still at the command center. Alpha's not keeping you in the chair. You can get out of the chair. But obviously, there's still work to be done. But in reaching out, your shadow is faltering and kind of misting out of the building. But you haven't heard from Cecily in quite a while. And it got a sense that Brick got found and is okay. But you don't know anything about Cecily right now.
Hey, Alpha, if there's no normal folk around Cecily, would you be able to zap me to her?
I'm reporting that Cecily is, well, there's two Cecilys. But they're not, Cecily. I'm going to teleport you there because I think you could be of great use. And it's actually a little more difficult than it should be because the shadow is still a part of you, so it's actually a bit more to teleport than normal. The soda gets left behind because they're going to run some tests on it, but you are teleported, and you were teleported into a scene where it's no longer a maze. Rita Cecily has basically broken everything cool in the room, sadly. Cecily, you're holding your own. What did you just do as Eddy was teleported in?
I think I'm trying to kind of get my own footing because this is kind of scary, and it's also I'm wearing this huge hoop skirt and I just don't want to knock anything else over. Put anybody potentially who could be in the maze somewhere else in danger because I don't know. But also trying to talk to myself, but also keeping my distance.
Well, Eddy has teleported in, not quite next to you, but on the other side of the Rita version of you. From the back, it just looks like Rita. It doesn't look like Cecily to you,
Okay.
but you haven't gotten a real good look at Rita, so you don't know that it's the wrong color outfit. It just gives you a general sense that's definitely Rita and what you assume is Rita's wand.
I'm going to tackle her, the Rita
Okay.
version.
You try to tackle and you go right through like she's a shadow, and you end up falling right down at Cecily's feet just because you lunged. It was a really good lunge.
I fully committed.
You fully committed, and thankfully you don't feel old, and you have a little bit of shadow still. But you feel about 35, 40. So your hip is going to hurt in the morning, and you're going to need some aspirin, but it's not the end of the world.
Oh man, I know that feeling.
You're just down, you're just splayed out prone, and there's Cecily just covered above you, looking at a Rita version of herself.
She's gonna offer a hand to help him up.
I'll gladly accept it. I guess that's what happens when I try to be a big damn hero.
Cecily, give me an alertness roll.
Okay.
I feel like I should just give you another character sheet so that you can make all your rolls really quickly.
Oh, I got a 14.
You got a 14. You noticed that when Eddy came barreling through that it was like a smoke, and that physically Eddy couldn't even touch this, and that tells you that it's not Eddy that needs to deal with this. You don't know quite what that means, but Eddy's also a ranger, so if something rangerish were supposed to happen, it would have happened.
So if I touch her, does my hand go through?
No, she's solid to you because she's you.
She's solid to me. That's what I was just confirming.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
also, her wand is very solid too. You have a couple of bruises.
Oh yeah, no, I know that. Ow, ow, ow. I'm gonna go to Eddy and I'm gonna go, I think it's an interpretation of how I'm kind of always putting myself out by myself, and I was alone and I'm facing her and she's also dressed up like our biggest enemy. It's like a metaphor. She's gonna look at the Rita and be like, I have people with me now. I don't have to deal with this alone. We're stronger together.
Rita, you kind of smiles and starts chuckling, goes, you haven't gotten it yet. You're close, but you're not there yet. But it's enough, especially on half Halloween. And Rita, you turns into a gray mist and disappears, and the door unlocks. And we are going to end tonight's Ranger Ghost story with the mystery of, was that the Shadow Stone? Or was that something completely different?
Ooh.
Yes. And next episode will be slightly more usual and slightly less spooky. But I hope everyone had a good night tonight. I had a good time planning this episode. And I want to wish all of you a happy Samhain, Halloween, Dia los Muertos, All Saints Day, whatever autumnal tradition you celebrate, including putting an egg on its side, a la the autumnal equinox. And I want to thank you all for joining tonight and everyone for listening in. And No, yeah, go for it.
No, I liked that. I liked that Brick had a little lesson of the day,
Oh, yeah.
a la
Actually, yeah.
a la Power Rangers.
Right.
That's right. Yeah. So for facing your fears or beginning the process, because that's all that you can really do as a teenager, everyone is advancing a level, which means everyone is going to be a level 5, except for Jane, who becomes a level 6 because they became a level 5 through the Streamathon stream. So I will get you that information you need. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and I hope that you learned something about your characters.
Oh, I did.
We're going to bring you. We're going to bring you more Becoming Mighty and Morphin in next session. And I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and thank my Rangers. Thank Rem Alternus for allowing this to happen. And I hope everyone has a great night and a spooky, safe Halloween. And I hope everyone listening to this enjoyed Hocus Pocus 2, because you'll hear this in the future. So hopefully it's as good as we're all hoping it's going to be, because this is recorded in the world before Hocus Pocus 2. But in all seriousness, thank you, everyone, and I hope you have a great night.